Okay. So, I don't know if we need a layout change for the de-ending tutorial. I don't know if there's a thing up there. No, she gets down, and there is a sequel. Clock Tower PS1, also known as Clock Tower 2, is the sequel. Clock Tower Ghost Head, or Clock Tower 2, The Struggle Within, is a spin-off, and then Clock Tower 3 is like a weird relation game. That's Sailor Moon. I got world record in that game recently, actually. I'm a huge fan of the Clock Tower series. I run every game and spin-off in the series, because I'm really the only person who, I guess, has that deep of a love of it. Anyway, now that we're doing the de-ending tutorial, the way this is going to work is, one, you may know that there's an ending list. Now, with these endings, there are 9 you can get. You have S, A, B, C, D, E, and F, G, H. Now, describing each of them, A, B, C are main good endings. There, you got to the roof. We just did A ending. They're all kind of like that. D, E, and F are if you didn't discover proper truths, or you just didn't do it the right way. So F ending, you didn't discover any truths, you die in the elevator. E ending, you didn't discover the truth about Bobby, and you went up the stairs. And then, or you didn't discover the truth about Mary, and then you went upstairs, the lat elevator, whatever it is. And then D ending is if you went to the second floor, and then Mary kills you. G and H ending are car endings, meaning there is a car in the game you can do that's an Easter egg. And with that, they're pretty short. H ending is about like a roughly 2-minute speedrun. The speedrun I'm going to show you is about a minute 51 world record right now. It is pretty short, and anyone can learn how to do it. But first, I must describe why things work and how you can play it at home. So first things first, you just have to find a copy of Clock Tower. Emulation's allowed on the speedrun board, but you have to find a way to get that. It's pretty hard these days. But we're going to begin the timer here, and we'll keep going. So chat, here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So like I mentioned, Clock Tower has a special ending called the D ending, and this ending is glitched, so I can do a little bit more. You're going to run to the left immediately, and by doing so, you'll end up in this room. In this room, you have the store. What you're going to want to do is kind of just time it so you're running in like that, and now that we're here, we can actually get an item. There are 3 ways to progress through the game. There is killing Anne in the foyer, there's killing Laura in the bathroom, or there's a courtyard. And the courtyard back here has a rock. It's all straightforward right now. You don't need any tricks. It's a standard point-and-click game. On the controllers, I'm using L and R to run. I'm using the A button for inventory. The Y button does actions. The X button stop. And the B button doesn't really do much outside of panic events. So, really quick, you can notice she's running this way. And I need to display something for you guys. If you just run down here, what will happen is you'll trigger a friend death. It happened at 52 seconds. You hear a scream. This is bad. You don't want to get this. So if you get this, it means, well, one, you're a bad friend because you're just waiting for Anne to drown. I mean, it's a long time. I said it happened about 51. It's a very long time. She's still drowning. Still drowning. She's still drowning. And it's about 30 seconds of waiting for Bobby to come out. Now, Bobby coming out's bad, because if you try going to the left of this, if you try running to the left after this, you'll die, because there's no way to move this box. This game has 2 different modes, action and exploratory, pretty much, and you can't move things in action mode, so you're stuck here until Bobby kills you. Now, that's bad, chat. That's really bad, and you don't want that. However, I'm displaying it to you because I want to show you how we can break the game a little bit. This game isn't quite normal when it comes to point-and-click games. Most point-and-clicks don't have a lot going for them. However, Clock Tower, I'm able to skip the death. So Bobby will never spawn. So you can see Jennifer does this weird movement here, right and left. I'm pushing like left bumper for this one, right bumper for this one on a standard SNES controller. But you're noticing her foot is dragging in whatever way I'm turning. So if I'm turning to the... when I'm going left and turn right, her left foot goes forward. If I'm going this way, her right foot turns forward. Because of that, her positioning is going to be a little bit different. So her positioning is based on that foot, but it won't count until she stops moving. So, on this tree right here, if you walk roughly about this line or so, Bobby will spawn, as you can see right there. We don't want Bobby spawning. That would be bad. Correct? But that's to show you the point that that would take the time there. What's going to happen right now, though, is by doing this action, I'll be able to show you how to skip that. You can skip over the trigger by doing an action sort of like this. By getting that, you are taking Jennifer her leftmost movement, and you're canceling it right there. Because of that, we'll be able to skip this, ideally, like so. Oh, I messed up. It takes a couple tries when you get the hang of it. That's why I have the 20-minute estimate. I didn't say it like so, Chad. I said like no. It takes a few tries. A lot of the speedruns in this are very much based on the memorization of the pattern. It should look something like this. Let's hope I don't eat my words this time. There we go. A little bit sloppy, but you can notice now there's nothing here. And didn't spawn. Bobby didn't spawn. No one's dying. What happened? So by skipping that trigger, Bobby never shows up. As well, another glitch that you can do with the items, two things. One, when you have your item out, if you push left and then immediately push A in like 1, 2, so like that, what will happen is you can run through this box. It'll be left once, A once. So run inventory. Like so. And then you can run through the box. From this point onward, you need to make your way to the garage. So you'll be running left and mashing the inventory button. Because of that, you'll be able to have the input lag reduction. And you want to make sure you're doing this as you run. It's very important, and it will save you a lot of time. Every second adds up here. As well, you may have noticed, Bobby never died. Bobby never came here. And it doesn't exist. So, we'll keep moving. And we'll end up in the garage. Now, for those of you who've played this game before and have done it casually, you might know there's a car ending. And if you go in the car, you normally get a bad ending. You just keep going left from that point onward. Just keep moving left. Now, once you're in the garage, we're going to be doing a very specific movement I'll show you in a bit. But first, I need to kind of just grab everything to display that. So, let me show you in the slow way. There's a box right here. You can grab a key. And you can use the car key to get in the car, like so. I'll show you like how you normally talk in here. So you can get in the car, you talk to it 3 times, and then from that point onward, you kind of end up just leaving the house. After 3 cars, you still use the key 3 times, the run would be over, and then you're done. However, that's kind of slow. We don't want to do that. You shouldn't want to do that. It takes a lot of time for Jennifer to look at the car and go, hey, my friends are dying. Maybe I shouldn't have abandoned my friends. Talking to the car 3 times is designed to make Jennifer stay with her friends. So what I'm going to show you instead is going to be a specific movement on how it's going to be done. And then I'll show you how you can improve it from that point forward. The one regret I do have is I kind of wish I had like a game kind of controller thing that shows my movements. But I'm going to run to the left, and I'm going to keep my cursor right about here. I want this box, this little box, to activate once I pass this. So when Jennifer passes it, I'll be using text skip, actually, which is a new trick we haven't done yet. Before that, I'll show you how to do text skip, though. So as you notice, there's, like, if you talk to this, you get dialogue, right? So if you pick up the key, you get dialogue. If you talk to the car, you get dialogue. It takes a while. Dialogue isn't fast. It's not very fast in the slightest. However, what you can do with an inventory item, so you push A and Y at the same exact time. It's frame perfect, so you have to be careful. You open up your inventory menu. When this is open, you can alternate between items. Text comes up, but since I go to my rock and the key, that text will overwrite the car text. Meaning, it finishes whatever was happening at that point in time. So if I do the key, this can happen. So you just kind of keep going back and forth. I'll show you the text popping up and then we get rid of it. That's normally much longer. And you have to do it 3 times. Again, I'll show you how it goes on longer, because I'm not kidding you here. It'll go on really long. However, you skip it. And then the final one, you just enter the car with the key. I entered the car without the key, but that's my fault. But you enter the car with the key. At that point onward, you'll be able to do D-ending. Now, what if I told you it could look better? Because I didn't really optimize a lot of these areas. We kind of just showed off a base area for these. Now, what you want to do in the garage room will look something more like this, and I'll describe my movement as we're going. Now, putting it all together, we're going to run to the left text skip this box. We'll start while getting the camera in frame of the car, and then do all two of the text skips on the car, and then get into the car using the key that we'll be picking up. Let's see if I can do it, chat, and it should look good. So first off, she goes a little bit. You skip the text of the car pickup. I missed the text skip here, but you can see how quick that becomes. So you're hitting text skip here. You want to hit text skip here. And you want to make sure you have your key out as well. Your inventory swapping somewhere around here. It's all very fast-paced. So then you do that again. Make sure you always end up on the key after you get the text skip. You know you have it just once you kind of see the little text. So start getting out of the car. And then at that point forward, you get de-ending. That would be time. However, we're not ending the timer on the tutorial just yet, because there's a bit more I need to show you to fully understand everything. We want to put it all together to show that we can do de-ending. Normally you'll get a picture of a car here, and then you get the credits. However, we just get the credits this time. There's no car, there's no screen, it's just the credits. And no ending has actually happened. The reason why this ends up working out is because de-ending doesn't know what to do. The game is confused because the major counter to decide what ending you got is your friends. We had Anne and Laura. Both of them have numerical values, which when they die, they'll lock in the endings you can get. So if one friend dies, you can get S ending and A ending. If two friends die, you can only get B ending or C ending, or anything else, because it doesn't matter from that point forward. However, I skipped Anne dying. Laura never died, and Bobby never spawned. Because of that, the game doesn't know what to give you. The game doesn't know what to give you at that point, so what ends up happening... Let me do that. There we go. We refer back to our ending list. On the ending list, you saw there's S, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, E. Or F, G, H. I'm illiterate, sorry. But normally, H ending would be the car there, and that's one friend dead. G ending is the car ending, but with two friends dead. I had 0 friends die. The game doesn't know what to do when you leave the mansion when you have that, so let's assume you have none of these unlocked. Right now I have all of them cleared, so you can't actually see it in action. However, when you get to this ending list, by doing the ending I just did, you would be getting D ending, which would show cleared on D, meaning this is the glitch D ending. Alternatively, if you're wondering what if you do the entire game like going to the elevator instead of this, you'll get the F ending, because you'll never know the truth about Bobby. Now, putting it in action, this is how I'll look, and I'll describe it to you, chat. Hopefully, you're following along, and if you have any questions, I am reading chat right now, so I can answer those for you. First, you want to go left, and you want to immediately go into the alcove area, this little, like, hallway. We want to position yourself properly to get the rock, and then you want to make sure you use the rock on this hole. There's no major speedrun tech yet. It's just standard pointing and clicking. Remember how to use the game, left to run, or like don't use the point and click to run, use L and R. It's always going to be better. From this point forward, we're now in the courtyard. We want to make sure that we're doing the turn at the exact spot it needs to be, which is right about here. There we go. From this point forward, start input buffering. You want to get your rock out, but keep input buffering. If she stops, you'll kind of get the feeling at the end of this. It's a very feeling-based, but the more you run, the better it'll be. And then once you're there, I'm just going to do this for the sake of showing it to you guys, because you won't be very visual. You will want to do this part without being able to see. You want to do it blind. So, remember, it's going to be L and A. So left A. And then you run through the box, and then you can run through. You can move the box alternately, but that takes too much time. This is entirely an SNES controller, yes. Every time I'm moving through a hallway, I'm mashing the inventory button, which is A. Right here as well, you can actually run left, stop, run left again, and then that'll give you a quick turn, which is very minor, but it does matter. And a little bit catnip. Let me get back to the hallway and I can re-show you. I can actually show you the visual indicator at the end in the garage here, because there is one. The way I do it is, I'm going to get my cursor in the proper spot. While you're here, move your cursor between the shovel and the ladder, and then you're going to be getting your text skip ready. Do text skip, run here. Do text skip, up, I missed it. Do text skip again. Well, again, text skip is A and Y. And you want to do it twice, and then on the third key, that would be time. And you want to make sure you're like, it's a key part to mash it as well. Like, you want to get it quickly, either time it right or mash it. It's going to depend, but mashing it's a bit riskier. And that would be time in the run right there. So in about 13 minutes, I've been able to show you a D ending and then be able to run it myself afterward to kind of give you a bigger display. And it's a 2-minute category. It's really easy to pick up. It takes a little bit to get the hang of it. The major trick will be in the courtyard, which I'll show you once again because that is a good question. Is there a visual indicator? And what should you be using? Here we go. So let's restart it once again. We'll get back to where we are. This is all basic movement for the first 30 seconds. As well, if you have any more questions in chat, feel free to let me know. I'm more than happy to explain it. Ideally, what I would like to do at some point is be able to kind of do the live tutorial for this, like have someone with me so they can learn this. I've done it with a friend once, so it's rather nice. And I know it's a possibility. It does take a bit of time to kind of get that out there, so I hope you've been enjoying it so far. Right now, though, to answer Catnip's question in chat, because I am reading these. Here is the visual cue you want. As well, for the trick, I want to show you as well with her movement, because you have the right and left turns. Now, reiterating it once again, when you're moving, it's left and then right. She'll do these big turns for whatever reason. I don't know why she does these big turns, but you want to watch her foot. The top part of her body doesn't matter. What matters is her foot that's advancing. So I'm going this way, her left foot's advancing. I'm going this way, her right foot's advancing. When you're doing that, what it's going to look like is, let me run over here for some just some space. Oh, it looks sort of like this. You get the turn, and then you're hitting X, L, X. So it's going to be right, L, X, L. Hold on. Right, L, X, L. It's very quick, and it has to get a feeling. This is an actual controller on an actual SNES. I bought this game. Actually, it's just a Super Famicom, so it's the SFC. It's a Japanese cart on the Japanese SNES, so the SFC. And that's generally what you want to get. This style of movement. And the best way to describe it is LXL. And it's very quick, so it's really quick all at once. And once again, the point you want to go is this exact line. If you pass this line, you'll get a death trigger. And you don't want that death trigger. Playing along is the best way you can do, and luckily I'm pretty sure there'll be a VOD of this as well. So if you see the VOD, you'll be good to go, and then you can follow along with these steps. I did forget kind of to describe this part, but luckily we still have time on the estimate. So I kind of just forgot to describe this one little trick. But again, right, LXL. But you want to make sure that you're getting it right. You can actually do it much faster, but the thing is, if you go faster, you'll lose the leeway you have. Because you can see she does a wide turn, but if you do it faster, she doesn't get that total leeway, which is unfortunate. So what it should look like is this. I missed it. I'm better off when I'm running from the left. It's much recommended to get that full speed in the camera swaps. And there is a fan translation, but unfortunately as a speedrun it won't be allowed. But luckily the Japanese language is pretty easy to pick up. There's not too much on it. It's mostly just knowing where the item pickups are. So here we are. Perfect. So we skipped the death trigger that was right here, and what this does is this doesn't kill us. This kills Anne. If you kill Anne, you can't get the D ending. It's impossible to get D ending if you kill Anne. This only works because 0 friends die, which that's a good explanation on how to show it. However, going into advanced areas of this, let's say you're feeling good, you feel good about Clock Tower, and you want to fully maximize the speedrun. It actually gets a little bit harder. Oh, Bobby is drowning here. That's why she's dying there. Bobby is drowning here. Now, the fully maximized time is a bit more annoying. You need either the Japanese version or emulation of this game. Japanese emulators are allowed, there's no English versions, because English versions actually didn't replicate this. There are other versions of the game that wouldn't replicate this. So if you want to get world record, well, you have to do this. You have to input buffer a bit. Which makes you do it blind. So it's much harder because normally while you're doing this, it's hard enough to do it with vision. But by pushing this about like 5 or 6 times, Jennifer will be at the very end of this, which is slightly faster. However, you still need to hit it, and it's not the easiest trick to hit. When you do it consistently, you can get the pattern down, but with that, that's how it goes. At that point as well, we're pretty much done with the tutorial, so I'll hit continue, show off the ending, and then we get to go. But I think I don't know when to hit time for this one. I'm about at my estimate, I would say. I don't know if I had 45 or 40. I want to say about both. I think the setup was going to take a little bit longer. There you go. And it looks all very nice put together. The way it's supposed to look on this part without the input buffering, by the way, again, I get the rock ready. You need the item to do this. I don't think you need it, but it's safer, and it's always more consistent. Bobby's immortal until you start the clock tower. There you go. And then from this point forward, just start mashing. When you get better and better, you can start implementing the tricks together. Like, once you pass the tree, start mashing like crazy. You can mash a little bit beforehand. You can mash the entire time, really, but it's harder because you can't account for the speed that Jennifer would have, and you can't see. So you need to use different cues. But I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope it kind of gives you explanations for the game. I'll finish it up here with the car, and we should be good to go. And I do want to thank you all so much for watching. I would really like to do something like this for more marathons. There's one more tutorial I could show. I don't know if I'm on, like, I don't know how much more estimate I actually have. I missed the little grab, but that's not the end of the world. There we go. Let me ask Feasel how much more time I have left. Any more? No. And that. Oh wait, not the rock. Wrong item. Wrong item. And no problem. I do a lot of horror games on my channel. This one, for example, I do all the Clock Tower series. Also time. So if you've enjoyed this, feel free to shoot me a follow. I do about 59 different horror speedruns and horror adjacent. I'm a big fan of the genre. I actually got my start on speedrunning in this marathon. So whenever this marathon comes along, I love being able to show Clock Tower for you guys, because this is really how I started building myself in my channel. I've been able to do a lot because of this, so it really does mean a lot to me that I can still run in SNES Super Stars. It is a great marathon with great people. Make sure I'm just gonna double check really quick, because I have enough time. I can show you guys a meme for another tutorial, because it's really fast, and it's much more silly. Let me just double check though. But I just want to thank you all for watching. Another cut after that though. Hold on.